Hey, welcome back to another episode of Between Two Blue Devils Revamped, where every story is worth sharing. And today we have a very special story. Hey, Preston, who's our guest today?
Today we got Mr. Rozborski.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Mr. Rozborski, commonly known as the Wizard of Roz.
Yeah, well, today, definitely, right? It's
Yeah.
a little Tin Man action. But, yeah, or Roz. Mr. Roz works, too.
Yeah, we're coming live on Halloween. There have been all kinds of cool costumes that we've seen in the hallways. Mrs. Poole and I have handed out a lot of candy. Since nobody came to my house for trick-or-treating last night, so...
It was raining. It was
Yeah,
terrible.
boring.
I had like maybe 20 people and had a lot of candy left over, plus we purchased candy because we wanted to take care of our little ones.
Yeah.
But
especially when there's only 20 people, that's where you're giving them entire handfuls. You're like,
Yeah.
please take it so
Yeah.
I don't eat it, right?
yeah,
That's-
well, and the thing is, Reese's peanut butter cups are my favorite, and I had this philosophy last night: for every piece that I gave away, I ate a piece. So it was only about 20 pieces.
paying for it today.
Preston, edit that out so my wife doesn't hear it, please.
Oh, yeah. I sat in a garage while people passed out like candy, and I just played poker the whole time. It was great.
Oh, did you win anything?
I won a lot, but we didn't play for money. But all my luck happens when I don't play for money. Like, why can't I get that? Why can't I get those hands when I got like 3 full houses in a row? I'm like, wow, where's that luck when I'm actually playing for money?
Well, here on this podcast, we do not recommend nor
We don't
condone
recommend
playing for money.
gambling.
Yeah, but were you playing? I remember back in the day, every once in a while with some students, I would just play. I had a little tiny miniature deck, and we would play during academy.
Okay.
We'd play with Smarties.
Yeah. Smarties.
Candy.
Yeah,
You play for
Smarties.
candy.
Yeah. You can play for candy.
Yeah.
you know?
Or bragging rights for you. That was last night.
Not money.
Yeah.
So we've
Candy.
got. So I'm sitting next to the Doyle Brunson of Talmadge High School right now. I love it. So Preston, tell us a little bit why you wanted to interview the Wizard of Roz.
So I've never had Roz as a teacher before.
True.
Because I went in my career program, I took English there, so I kind of like skipped English 10, went straight to 11. So I never had him before. So this is our first like conversation.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I was just excited to talk to him.
It's very true. And, Preston, obviously I've never taught you in the same sense, but I've seen you all over the school. I mean, I even saw you on a TikTok, I think, where you were presenting to the chamber.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yep.
Yeah. So, I was impressed when you came up and said, hey, can you be on the podcast? I'm like, absolutely. Right?
Yeah, that TikTok was pretty interesting because it was the company that recorded you. They were there at the chamber meeting, and he just recorded it from where he was sitting, and then when he posted it, I mean, you went a little bit viral there, buddy.
I did, yeah.
With at the very end an opportunity for an internship or
yeah.
even a job too. At the very end, he was wanted to offer you, and it's just. I think it's awesome because Preston, and I talked about this on a podcast that I was on earlier, where Preston has become kind of like the voice of Talmadge, because he's sharing all the good that's going on in his life as a result of, the influence and mentoring of teachers and opportunities here. But now he's spreading that news to those out in the community, and it's just neat to see you move up. As far as like leadership and as far as understanding your voice and the importance of it, so it's just pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, you never know where these opportunities come from, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing how, and I think you even mentioned it, is like you never saw yourself here 2 years ago or 1 year ago.
Yeah.
And now look what we're doing, right? We're doing podcasts and you're amplifying other people's voices. It is really cool.
Yeah. I love doing this sort of thing.
Yeah.
So you wanted to ask Mr. Rozborski to join us, and why don't you kickstart the interview with some questions that you might have?
Sure.
All right, we got first off, how long have you been in education?
Oh man, you're gonna make me do math this early in the morning? Oh geez. Well, I started teaching in 2011. So we're hitting like the 15 year here. Yeah. Here at Talmadge, this is my 10th year.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was in South Carolina for 3 years, right out of college. My wife and I both found jobs down there because it's not the best state for education, but we were able to get jobs. There weren't many in Ohio at the time. And then came back for a year in Solon at the middle school. When, again, we moved back, she found a job. I kind of snuck into a job for a year, and then I landed here. And I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. So I'm curious, how did you hear about Talmadge?
Oh, geez. It was just through the Appletrack. It was just looking for anyone that had openings at the time because when I was at Solon Middle School, I was a part-time teacher, which I had never really heard of before. But I was teaching and then also tutoring, and they said anyone else that had taken this position was going to move into a full-time position. That's just the way that it had worked. And what they failed to tell me is that they knew that their numbers were going down, and that likely that was only going to be there for a year. So I was a little miffed by that one. But yeah, so I had that experience and I loved it there. But got riffed, and then I was looking around and Talmadge kind of popped up and just happened to apply, right?
Yeah. So RIF, just so you know, RIF is this term that it's an abbreviation for reduction in force.
Yeah.
And when you're an educator, that's not the letter you want to receive.
Yeah.
I can remember my first couple years teaching. Again, we had a levy on the ballot, and we weren't sure if it was going to pass. And so, being the youngest in the department, I received a letter. I still have it somewhere at home where it said, "If the levy doesn't pass, you will be reduced. You'll be, there will be a reduction in force, and you will not have a job." It's a scary thing.
Yeah, it's scary. And it's. I always say, like, there's a difference between being fired and being riffed, though, right? It wasn't like I did anything wrong. It's how the numbers worked out, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Or fortunately, because honestly, I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with fortunately. We are blessed. It was a blessing. Thank you for that decrease in population numbers there in Solon. We're thankful that you are here.
I don't know if I would have lasted at the middle school. Again, I loved the colleagues. I loved the way they had it set up, but high school is definitely my wheelhouse.
Yeah. So where did you go to college down in South Carolina?
So I actually went to college here in Ohio. I went to Miami University.
Okay.
Yeah. Fun fact about Miami. Do you know it?
No.
Miami University was a college before Florida was a state.
Whoa.
Oh.
Most people don't know that. They hear Miami, they immediately think, hurricanes and warm weather. No, not at all. But yeah, that's where my wife and I actually...
I'm just laughing that you think I really have no reason to actually know that because we don't, we're not Miami University. Now I bet I know somebody down in the office who would know that.
Someone else would, absolutely.
This is cool.
It's just one of those fun things that you say and people are like, oh man,
that's cool.
That's a crazy fact, right, about the school, just how old it is and the prestige that it has. But yeah, that's where I met my wife as well. We are Miami mergers. It's a thing. People who meet at Miami, apparently it's known for, having a lot of people that are couples and get married and merge. Yeah, exactly. Like we get a Valentine's Day card from Miami every year. Yes, we do.
Let's see. So I met my wife at the University of Akron.
Your zips.
We've been zip tied together.
Yeah, right. It's like a zipper.
Zip
you
up,
got the two different sides.
I don't ever get a card recognizing that. I'm gonna have to talk to the president of Akron.
Yeah.
Miami's got a cool vibe though. It does have this prestige kind of aura to it. Almost feels like an Ivy League school.
Yeah, it's a public Ivy.
Yeah,
right? That's kind of how it's recognized. Yeah. One of the many reasons why I went there is I just they had a great education program, and I loved as the kids would say, the vibe. Right.
Oh yeah.
The vibe on campus was just ideal, and it's a bubble. It was a perfect bubble for college to escape the world that I was in Buffalo. Not that I needed to escape, but like to grow up. Right.
Yeah.
To grow up in college and become who I wanted to be.
So then, if you went to college at Miami in Ohio, how did you end up down teaching in South Carolina?
Yeah, like I said, just jobs.
Good question.
Yeah. There were no jobs when I graduated in 2011. I remember professors saying, there's a lot of people holding on because of the retirement and just age of educators. So we were looking around anywhere, just kind of throwing our applications out there. And my wife got an interview. And I remember I just went down and in the district just walked into some of the buildings, walked into some of the district buildings and high schools and shook hands and dropped off my application and resume and worked out, got a job.
That's the way you got to do it. You just got to go in there and give me a job.
Well,
yep.
I mean,
sell yourself.
Yeah, sell yourself. Put yourself out there, especially in the age of digital, the digital mass. Right? I can't even imagine what it'd be like to hire today. Right? I know that there are the programs, the Indeeds and LinkedIn and that, but going and being face to face, shaking someone's hand and wearing a suit and tie and showing them like, hey, I'm here. Right? If you have time for me, I'd love to sit and interview.
Yeah.
No, I remember when I graduated, I had student taught at Talmadge, and I already knew that I was going to get a job as I wanted to get a job there, and I was coaching, but I went to a job fair, and back then, I mean, literally, you would turn in your transcript, and you'd fill an application out at a table, and it was always in oh man, I forget what they call it, the Commons area there at the University of Akron, and like they would actually hire you on the spot.
Oh wow!
Like they would do like a mini interview there, and if you impressed them, then they would hire you. Mrs. Lane, our school counselor, and I went to a meeting a couple weeks ago at Hudson, and it was interesting. They were talking about college enrollment, but they were talking about the importance of how you sell yourself, what your communication skills are like. And there are two things that are changing now in the world of enrollment. One is they're looking at LinkedIn. So they really, really encourage all high schoolers to have a LinkedIn and use it kind of as like a digital portfolio. Make sure that you're posting and putting your podcasting content on there and such. But then also, instead of the college essay, a lot of schools are now going to video. And there's a program that they use where they're 90-second spots. Yeah, because they don't want you pulling a really well-written like essay off of ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So they're combating AI by recording you 90 seconds to summarize who you are and why you want to go to that college or university. And then they just watch your body language. They watch the way that you're able to present an idea, the way that you're able to carry yourself behind a camera.
I love that.
Yeah, it's kind of going back, using the technology that we have, but kind of going back to that face-to-face interaction.
Yeah, because, I mean, the essay, as much as I remember writing so many of them, but in this day and age, from a college perspective, I could see why it wouldn't even be valuable anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to write. So the two schools that I applied to, just because I wanted to go on more visits, because they wouldn't let me go if I didn't apply.
And what schools?
Heidelberg and Muskingum.
Okay.
So they wouldn't let me go again if I didn't apply because they just didn't want to, waste their time probably. So I applied, but they were both essay optional and test optional, and I was like, sweet, I just don't have to do anything. I just got to do the common apps.
I get out of school.
Yeah, get out of school, So you mentioned that you met your wife down in Miami. So tell us a little bit more about your family.
So my wife and I got married in 2013, and I've got 2 kids. Right, so I've got my daughter Claire, who is now 8, and my son Ben, who's 6. So 3rd grade and 1st grade. It's amazing just everyone says like how fast time goes. Right, I remember when Claire was in kindergarten. Right, we drive past our old daycare now. We're like, oh, you guys remember when we used to go to that daycare? It's like, yeah, now we're at the schools and playing sports. Claire's big into dance. She's been doing it for a couple of years. She's doing a really great job working on her aerials right now. All right. For any of you people who know.
I don't even know what that is.
Well, so sounds dangerous.
Yeah. So it's, cartwheel, like no-handed cartwheels.
Oh, wow.
Right. That type of stuff. She's already working on that at the ripe age of 8.
I mean, does your heart stop every time she does it?
So she's been practicing in the basement. We have some pads, and I'm watching her. She's doing great with her technique, but I'm just like, man, I just don't want her to get hurt.
Yeah.
Right. So I know that her dance instructors are doing a great job with her. I also know from some of the students that I've taught. I think about like Mia Hurst. I remember she was saying how she danced and cheered and did everything, and she was in my class at 16 going, I already have back problems.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's my biggest concern.
Sure.
Is I just don't want her to overdo it to the point where she does have those issues, because you have back problems at 16. That's not going away. It's not getting any better.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like when I watch our female athletes during pep rallies do those stunts and flips, when I see like Josie Leonard when she does these things, like
incredible.
It's insanely awesome. But every time I'm like, I'm like, I can't imagine if my daughter did that, and I just see it every weekend because I just can't handle. I'm like, oh no, don't crash.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember years ago, before TikTok and before all the social media platforms, when YouTube was the only platform that was out there. We had a pep rally, and we had a young lady who was doing flips, She started on one corner of the gym, and then she kept going and kept going and kept going, and she lost track of where she was at, and then she flipped right up into the crowd, right into the first and second, third row. And fortunately, she was fine.
Yeah.
But it ended up like getting just a ton of views on YouTube because it was funny, and she was able to bounce back from it. But it was nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it could have been disaster.
Could have been.
Yeah. So anyway, so Claire, but she's doing great.
That's
She's
awesome.
doing great, and she has a lot of fun with it. And she's very artistic. She sings a lot, and I know she gets that from me because like I like to sing. So we sing in the car all the time.
This is like guest 2 in a row.
Yeah,
that they
singing.
like to sing. We had Mr. Osborne last
He's
week.
also a singer.
He is also.
I didn't
Oh, wait a
realize.
second.
Osborne
I'm
is
thinking
also a
Oz
singer.
and Roz.
Oz and
might be
Roz.
Osborne and Rozborski.
Maybe a
I think we
little
got something like a little barbershop quartet.
Oh yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne. We'll bring it back. Who's for that?
That's good. I like that.
Do a little crazy train for Battle of the Bands.
So Preston, I like this. This is you know what this. I'm going to write this into their evaluation, so they have to do it. But here's the thing. I know Mr. Rozborski a little bit, the artistic side of it, but there's some fun facts about Mr. Rozborski and his ability to sing that I think you should share with our audience.
So in high school, I was a singer. I was actually the vice president of our men's glee club, our choir, because I went to an all-male high school. I went to a private all-guys high school. So we had over 100 guys in that choir. And so being the vice president of it was really cool just to help organize. I got a couple solos as well, which was nice, but that wasn't why I did it, right? But I just really enjoyed it, kind of followed in my brother's footsteps because he started singing. And unfun fact, I guess, I played the violin in elementary school. I regret it.
Really? So what's interesting is I actually played the violin in elementary school as well.
You did too?
Yeah, and what I regret is giving it up.
Oh,
I wish I would have. I think about how cool it'd be to pull the fiddle out and sit around a campfire, and be able to play. But
I don't think it's very cool. That's what I regret is I had a buddy who he was playing the violin, and that's why I picked it up. It was like, oh hey, he's a friend. I'll try it out. Beyond the recorder that we all had to play in first grade. But some of my other friends picked up the guitar or did other instruments like drums, and I'm like, why did I pick the violin?
Yeah, guitar, and I played the piano too. And we stopped those lessons. My parents, I can't remember how old I was when we stopped, but they're like, everyone's going to take the piano. You're going to try piano, And then in school, it was a little more common in elementary school back then to just you're gonna try something. And I remember getting pulled out of class for violin lessons. And I enjoyed it, sort of. I take that back. I don't think I enjoyed it because I ended up quitting. I wish I would have stuck with it.
Yeah, I remember I could almost play canon in D. It was tough. That's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
I was close. My buddy, he had it.
You were far more advanced than me. So.
He practiced a lot. I did not practice as much as I should have. So I was fumbling in canon and D. But you know what? It did give me that basis for music, so that when I went to high school and I started singing, I really enjoyed it. And so it's something that I did. I was always singing when I was in high school and even at home. I still remember my grandma, my step grandma, used to work in the basement. And when I left for college, I remember coming back one time and she was like, what I miss the most is all of the music that you would bring into the house, singing all those songs from high school. So yeah, I mean, it just kind of happens naturally that I'll be working around the house, I'm cleaning the dishes, and I just start singing. And I know that that's where Claire gets it from. So, gets it from too. So it's, it's a point of pride, right? I'm glad that she also finds a lot of joy in that. And I can see that if she wanted to, she could be a musician. Absolutely.
I too sing a lot, but I'm not going to demonstrate any of that. Never, singing around the house. But it is interesting when I think back to when I grew up, violin, piano. Then when I was in middle school and high school, I was in the band, and I played the trumpet and the baritone.
Wow, so you're multi-instruments. You were all over the place.
Well, so I really enjoyed the trumpet, but there was this young lady. Her name was Lana. She was first chair, and she was really good. And I could never beat her. I could never be first chair. And so if you can't beat her, then what you do in band is you switch to an instrument where there's no competition. And at one point, our band director brought this 4-valve silver baritone. It was brand new. And he's like, do I have a volunteer? And I'm like, me. I'll get a brand new instrument, and I'll be first chair. And so I played, but I enjoyed it.
Smart.
But there's just exercising that side of your brain is just so important.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of our kids today don't experience that. It's not really prioritized in society as much as it used to be. Like, it was just that's what you were going to do. But it does make you more aware of just so many options out there, and singing and music just takes you to a different spot.
I also think about the healthy struggle, right? The healthy struggle of trying to master that combination of notes, right? Because you said piano, so we got a piano from my father-in-law. He upgraded his piano, so he gave us his little keyboard. So Claire, tinkers around on it, and over the last few years, I was trying to learn it a little bit because I'd never played piano. And there were a couple songs I just had to keep practicing over and over again, and it reminded me, what learning is like, right? That it is a struggle, and sometimes you do get stuck, but just persevering through that.
I like that.
Yeah, definitely. I can't say I'd done the same. I never played an instrument before. I played drums. I was in with the drums. Like, I'm in the part of the German Family Society, Brimfield over there, and every festival we had a drummer as part of the band, and I would sit behind him and just watch what he did for hours.
Yeah.
And the one time I remember he gave me his sticks, and I went home and I had this. My parents made me this little soundproofed room in the basement because they didn't want to hear me. And I'd be down there with those same drumsticks, and I'm down there and I'm just banging on I'm just doing. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was like, this is fun,
You need the soundproof room if you're gonna have drums.
Oh yeah,
definitely. There was zero chance that they were wanting to hear me.
So I think it's important that we recognize the fact that you may not play an instrument, but you are part of German society, and you dance all the time. And I don't know if you knew that about Preston.
No, I didn't know. Wait. Do you have the lederhosen?
Yep.
You and Summers?
Yep.
Caleb Summers. Yeah.
I remember Caleb Summers had them.
Yeah.
And now I'm remembering the picture, you and Caleb, and down in Cuyahoga Falls, or up in Cuyahoga Falls.
So, what picture was it? The one that I posted with them,
or remembering something?
Because I know I threw a couple out.
It's
there,
from from the falls, the festival in the falls, right?
Okay, yeah. So we do Falls Oktoberfest, Kent Oktoberfest, and then we do ours at our club. In Brimfield. And we also do Old European Fest. We have a bunch of stuff during the year, but
they're busy.
Yeah, we're every Sunday, 2 hours.
Yeah,
it's 6:15 to 8:15.
Yeah,
and we got competitions coming up at Labor Day this upcoming year.
I remember seeing Caleb, and you were probably there, but maybe I just didn't recognize you or know you at the time. But I remember seeing Caleb at the Falls Oktoberfest. It was a madhouse.
This year?
No, it was 2 years ago.
And I wouldn't. This is my first year back. I did it.
Okay.
So my family, my great grandparents are charter members.
Yeah.
So they kind of they founded it, helped found it, and I was in it when I was young, kindergarten, that age, and then I quit. I wish I didn't, but can't go back. So I quit, and then that's when I started sports, soccer and all that, and then I came back last November, so I'm coming up on my year mark.
Hey.
So, but yeah, it's super fun. Some of my best friends are in there.
Can I ask a very important question?
Yeah.
Where do you get your lederhosen?
I got them up in Milwaukee.
Interesting.
We were up there for German Fest, but it's from this store called Ernst-Schlicht, and they're from Germany. It's all from Germany, handmade, all that. Yeah, they're super nice. I remember my mom bought me a bunch off of Amazon. They were little cheapy stuff, and I walked out of my hotel room up there in Milwaukee, and I walked into her room to go grab something, and there's just a giant tear in my butt, and I'm oh my gosh,
that's not gonna work.
No, and but like they were like thicker until you like got to like certain parts and it was like paper thin, and I was like, Mom, I need some good ones. So then we went over there and I found a pair. It's got like a little like deer on, like a little buck on it, and I like it.
So
awesome.
So I don't own any lederhosen, but my brother and my dad do, because they actually went over to Germany for Oktoberfest.
Okay.
And they invited me. And I don't know, you probably don't know this, but because you weren't the principal at the time, but they invited me to go the very first October that I was a teacher here. Like I just been accepted. It was August, September, and they're like, "Hey, we're going over to Germany for Oktoberfest. Do you want to come with us? Like, it's gonna be awesome." I was like, I bet it would be awesome. I don't think I can do that. It's a brand new
little
teacher.
too soon,
Take a week off to go.
Yeah, not on a 1-year contract.
No, probably not recommended. So they own lederhosen, but I do not have any, unfortunately.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it. I have like, I
mean, they look comfy.
I got some. Mine have a belt with it, so I don't have to wear the straps. I can just wear the shorts. Yeah. And my mom bought me this like dinosaur polo shirt, so I like wear the shorts and I have the polo on and walking around. Yeah. It makes you feel some sort of way when you just have them on. you're from there.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking a lot. Just some of the teachers and I, especially this week with all of our Secret Spirit Week going on, the way that you dress and how you feel, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we used to do Dress to Impress, right? I used to do Dress to Impress Thursdays, and a lot of students would dress up, and like when you are dressed up, you feel sharper. You feel like empowered almost in the same way with your lederhosen. Whereas yesterday, when it was dressed like a student day, and I was wearing my PJs and a hoodie, I felt fuzzy all day. Mm-hmm. Like I felt tired.
Yeah, we had a motto. I mean, for years, it's look good, feel good, play good, right? When I was coaching, look good, feel good, play good.
Yeah.
I still remember the first coach that shared that when I was assisting him, and he certainly didn't coin the phrase, but it is. I mean, the way it sets the tone for everything, and it's part of the reason why in my role, I started wearing a jacket, and just not necessarily a tie, but just putting a jacket on and just being able to feel like, okay, I feel different. I feel like I'm ready to work. I feel like I'm ready to just engage in the spirit work.
Yeah.
Well, and even in the same sense, when I get home, one of the first things I do is change, right? Because for me, that is a physical modification, right, of what I'm doing. So whether it's changing into workout gear or just into something that is a little bit more comfortable. So, right, I'm not Mr. Roz anymore, right? I'm the dad. I'm the driver, right? I'm the person around town, the friend around town.
So I would, with that comment that you made there, I want you to kind of elaborate a little bit more, because you are one who is very much, you study habit making, you study the psychology around different stages of your life and of your day and what you can do to be the best version of yourself. And can you just talk to us a little bit about your journey into that and who might be impacting you and influencing your thoughts on habit formation, organization, things of that nature?
Yeah, it's strange to say that it fascinated me in high school, but I think because I was so busy in high school, right? One of the questions I was looking at, it was like, something about high school teachers, and I was so busy. I was such a busy high schooler. I was in wrestling. I was in crew, which is rowing for people that don't know. My senior year, like I said, I was a vice president of Glee Club, and I was also in swing choir, and I was just doing so many things along with my courses that I kind of I was forced to be organized, right? And I know that my parents did a lot with that. It was, hey, did you prep for the next day? Are you prepared? So when I got to college, I think that I was just kind of ready for it. And then moving out of college, once I took on that teacher role, I saw other people needing it, right? I saw my students needing that organization. So, I don't know. I can't say if I've had any specific role models. Obviously, Atomic Habits, right, on my Mount Rushmore of books. James Clear, that book wasn't groundbreaking for me, but it was the clarifier for a lot of the things that I was already doing. And I've had that conversation with my wife. It's like, oh, well, we want to prep for the next day. She's like, oh yeah, I've been doing that too, right? Because she grew up in a similar household where it was high priorities and expectations, and making sure you were ready. I'm sure that I was also an Eagle Scout. I didn't mention that in high school too, right? Let's add that to the list.
Wow.
So being a scout, being prepared, right? So that built into it as well. Just so all of those experiences helped me see how can I pass that on to students. So, right, back when we were still using all paper before all the Chromebooks, organizing binders. That's why I see Mr. Ganaba's binder organization, and I go, I've kind of moved past that because we as a society are starting to move past that. But I still see the value, right? I still see the value that he places on it, and I thank him for having kids organize their life, because I think especially I see a lot more guys in our school that need it. Girls sometimes are just naturally more organized, I think. But I think all students need that organization so that they can process and prioritize.
Yeah. And just think about the parts of your brain that are utilized when you are prioritizing, processing, and literally, in the case of Ganaba's binder, organizing and thinking through that process. Okay, and so what's going to make it easier for me to access important information, and where should I put homework that I might not visit as often as I do my notes? And all of that is just a skill that oftentimes gets lost, especially now with AI and with other apps where it does all that for us. So now we don't have to think about it, which then means we're not exercising our brain in that manner.
Yeah, it's the organization of schema, right?
Yep.
We in English, that's what we talk about with vocabulary. Right? You can learn a word, but if you don't have it in context, if you haven't categorized it, you haven't put it next to other words that are also associated, you're probably not going to use that word. You're probably not going to remember it. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
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 It's like an awkward moment.
yeah.
In the
Yeah, we
podcast.
had
We're
no
like,
segue.
we're like, the Wizard of Oz has wowed us. So, we could riff on schema a ton, but we'll kind of. Can I ask a question about?
Yeah.
So I'm curious, Mr. Rozborski, when did you decide that you wanted to be a teacher?
Oh man, yeah. It goes back to both my time as a scout, and I think just all of my experiences as a student, right? I enjoyed school, right? I was pretty good at it too, because my parents set those expectations of like, you're going to do your homework, you're going to put that first. And so grades were never really an issue for me. I had mostly A's, a couple, an occasional B. But as a scout, one of my first jobs was a camp counselor, and I was teaching the youngest scouts at the camp, and they were still, 10 or 11. And so I think that's really where my education started, right? Being an educator, teaching kids how to tie knots, teaching them some of the basic skills that a scout would need. And I enjoyed the process. And so that, coupled with just, enjoying my time as a student, I said, well, I'm gonna check it out. And then I went to Miami, and here I am on the other side of it. And I certainly don't have any regrets. I think this is where my life was always kind of leading me.
I love hearing people's origin story.
Yeah.
And you think about how many, and as we interview more people, you'll hear this. It's those micro experiences growing up where, okay, I taught a kid how to tie a knot. We worked on this one-on-one, and it just triggered something small inside of you that kind of festers, and then with every experience, it adds to it. And at the moment when you're thinking about it, you're not like, oh, well, this is prepping me to become a teacher. I mean, some people can say that, but most people don't.
Yeah.
But it's kind of in retrospect. It's, it's when you're looking in the rearview mirror, you're like, now I see how every one of those situations prepared me for what it is that I'm called for. And there will come a point in your life, Preston, where you'll be able to look back, maybe it's 20 years from now, and then you'll be able to look back and go, oh my gosh, every experience I had has gotten me from there to here and has equipped me to be able to handle the situation that I'm in. It's just cool to hear those stories.
Yeah, when he's on ESPN, and maybe not right in front of the mic, but right, like when he's connected to something with broadcast, he'll look back on these podcasts.
Yep.
Right.
And and here's what's funny about it too is you might not even be thinking about broadcasting.
No.
Because I know what what you think your plan is moving forward, and that may be the plan. The beauty of our role in students' lives, and what kind of like the bonus check for us, is we watch young men and young women as they come through their time here at the high school, then they go on to the next chapter, and then the whole world just opens up, and they start to think and feel differently. And so many students, some know what they're going to do, and they stay on that path. Others are like end up on the complete opposite end of the spectrum of where they thought they'd be. Like, I'm an example of that. I never in a million years would ever think I'd go back to school because I hated school, you know. But here I am.
Yeah. Well, about the broadcasting, like podcasting thing, like hopefully, so I'm like an avid backpacker, like outdoors person.
Okay.
So maybe bring like some like lightweight little microphones, do a little episode on top of a mountain. Like, I feel like that'd be so cool because like, I don't know, I just love like being like, I went backpacking this past summer, first time, and I remember we were at this place called Scales. It's like a horse like parking like stuff, but it's like up in like the mountain, and we were sitting there eating lunch, and it's just, you could see forever, and I'm like, that's so awesome. But yeah, so I feel like that'd be cool, like podcast on top of a mountain.
Oh yeah,
like,
you can absolutely do that.
Yeah, you get a little video, right? Show, you can even rate the trails.
Yeah,
rate the hikes.
Yeah, but I feel like that'd be like the best thing for me, like specifically, because I was like, I love doing that. And talking is just kind of like not easy, but I mean, once I get to talking, you can't stop me.
I think that's the importance of finding your passions and finding where they intersect too, right? Because in this world that is so volatile right now, right? Like, I don't want to say that, life is volatile right now, but it is, with the advancements and everything going on in our society. Where are you going, right? What are you going to do? And looking at what you care about, what you're good at, and where you want to go, and putting those together, you can create. You can find your niche and move forward with it. Because if you just go like, oh, I'm going to do this basic job that, has been around for a long time, will it be around for a long time? I don't know. Right?
Yeah,
it's a good question.
That's like, I was talking to my dad about like what I want to do, and I'm like, because he did concrete for 16 years, like he's like trade, like straight out of high school, or he went to college for one semester and was like, forget this, I'm done. But when I was just talking to him, and I'm like, all my friends, like my friends who are going into like business and like, or like finance, I'm like, 5 years. I'm like, you don't even gotta wait 5 years. I'm like, and AI can just do it. I'm like, so why would I go to college, pay for a degree that is just gonna get taken over by a computer and however long down the road? AI can't wire houses.
Yeah, well, it's so true.
It's very true.
And it's scary. It's intimidating. I had a great conversation with a former student yesterday. They came in to interview me for one of their classes, and it was awesome because this student walked away from their experience here very grateful that we have 3 E's, not one. It's not just enrollment in college. It's enrollment, employment, or enlistment. We value all 3 because we do understand college isn't for everyone, and you don't necessarily need a college degree to be successful in what you're passionate about. The trades are awesome. There are so many opportunities out there where you can land an internship, get trained a lifelong skill, always be in high demand, right? And we have young people all the time who are enlisting. And it's such a noble thing to do, to put their life on the line for this country. So there are lots of opportunities out there, and sometimes it changes. Sometimes you, like your dad, you start off a semester and then you realize, okay, I know I'm not supposed to do this. Others have started off in employment or enlistment, and later on thought, I need to go back to school, or
it's not a linear path.
Yeah,
right? I don't think much in this life is a linear path. I used to think that it was.
Yeah.
I think that's the way that my generation was told. We were pretty much told, go to high school, go to college, get a job, there'll be jobs waiting for you. And when most of us graduated, there weren't jobs waiting for us.
Yeah.
So we kind of got sold that lie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's okay, right? It worked out a little bit, but I think we've all learned, right? As a society, we've learned that sending everyone to college was not the right path, and you don't have to go directly there. And more to the point is, you could take a course or two online, right? I follow the Green Brothers, one of the few people that I actually consistently follow.
Mm-hmm.
They made Crash Course. I think most students know about Crash Course, especially college students. But they've also created Study Hall now, that it's a $25 fee. I'm not trying to promote them right now, but it is worth promoting. It's a $25 fee to get access to these courses, and you can take the course. And if you like it and you want to get credit for it, they charge $400.
Wow.
And you have college credit.
Really?
Because they wanted to make affordable, reasonable college courses available. Now there's only a handful of options. I think they have 10 different courses, but there's an intro to business. Mm-hmm. There was a macroeconomics one, right? They had a communications one. And if you just want to, improve yourself a little bit, it's a $25 course. Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
It's cool to hear what you're feeding your mind, right? What are you doing to grow, to become a better version of yourself? And one of the things, you are always in a constant pursuit of that. Mr. Rozborski encouraged me to check out Masterclass. So now I have a subscription to Masterclass on, and I have the app, and oftentimes when I'm working out, I'm watching that, trying to feed my mind so that I'm growing into the best version of myself. What are some other things that you do what are other avenues of feeding your mind? You mentioned your Mount Rushmore of books. Is there a podcast that you're listening to, or?
Yeah, I'm in and out of some of the podcasts and books. I'm usually listening to an audiobook in the morning, on my drive into work. So, Mount Rushmore of books. I just finished another Taylor Jenkins Reid book, her most recent, called Atmosphere. Any books by Taylor Jenkins Reid are just top notch. Frederick Bachman, he is on the Mount Rushmore, absolutely. Any of his books, I've never felt more seen as a parent, right? Other than Bluey. Bluey helps everyone be seen. That's, I think, why Bluey has the staying power that it does. Feeding my mind. I started, I don't know if it was feeding my mind, but feeding into the person that I want to become. I know that we talked a little bit about coaching, right? We had a conversation earlier this semester that I started coaching my son's football team. And I've never played football in my life, right? Organized football. And how much joy I got out of that, watching him grow and helping those kids grow, even though they're first and second graders, right? It's okay. I really enjoyed that. Feeding my mind, just getting workouts in. Right, that's an important thing for me. I didn't have as much time when I was coaching, but now I even told my wife, I was like, I don't have any excuses anymore. I got to get back onto that workout train. Yeah, because I think that's super important too. We talk about the connection between the body, right? If we aren't keeping our body in shape, is our mind also staying in shape? Right? There's definitely ways to exercise our mind, right? Whether it's learning an instrument or learning a new skill on Masterclass. Yeah. Right. But keeping your body in shape is, I think, equally important.
Yeah, it's interesting when the older you get, the more aware of your body's tendencies you become more aware. And I think about the connection between hydration, working out, diet, and then what you're consuming, what you're feeding your mind. Yeah. And when I look at those four parts of it, when they're all in alignment, man, I'm feeling really good. Yeah. But if one of them are out of alignment, I may feel okay, but I'm not my best self. And so it's really hard to keep all four in alignment at all times. Like last night, I was telling you, when at trick or treat. So, okay, the diet's a little bit sketchy because I ate some candy, so I'm not feeling my best, and it's affecting, your energy level and how you're interacting. It affects everything, but it's interesting when you look at those, man, you got to keep them all in alignment so that you can continue to impact and influence people.
You forgot one.
Which one did I put?
Sleep.
Well, yeah, and sleep too.
That's
Sleep.
good.
I mean, and that's
No, you're 100. Yeah, so there's 5.
I'll take my sleep's been taking a hit recently. It's something about football season. Just love watching football. I didn't stay up for the entire game last night, but I did stay up for a good amount of it. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to pay for this tomorrow.
Well, see, my sleep is in, because the Browns stink, so I don't ever have to give up. So, hey, Sunday, I'll take a nap.
Yeah.
It's better use of your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I have like a 3-hour break in between my classes, and like I'm trying to like work with my dad. Like again now, I work with him like during the summer, but before I started doing that, like on my breaks, I would just go home, eat, take a nap. I'm like just recharge for the second half of my day, and like especially when I like had practice right after school, I'm like, man, like I need this time to recharge, like just like kind of recuperate, like just like everything. And then whether that was taking a nap or just like sitting there watching some TV or playing with my cat, like just something to just reset, kind of like it's my second part of my day.
Recharge is a great word to use.
Recharge. And I like that you said that you were doing something intentionally not distracting yourself, right? I mean, a television sure is a distraction, but it's a pretty passive one.
Yeah.
Whereas I think about, we're so quick to pick up a phone and start scrolling. That is an active thing.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, I need a break. And then they sit on their phone. You don't feel recharged after that. Mm-mm. Like you feel recharged after playing with your cat or your dog, right? I know I do.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm just like, oh man, I just want to go hang out with my pets for a little bit, right? Or obviously taking a nap, right? Those are so important in our day to reset or just to be that 15 minutes, right? Use those 15 minutes for something that's a little bit more positive.
Yeah. Or like I'll be like I'll turn something on the TV in my living room. I'll go make some eggs or something. And like while it's still playing, I'm like, but even like when I go to sleep, like I know this isn't the best thing, but I either like fall asleep with my TV on or like I'll play like noises. But I'm like I need like something in the background to like just be able to like fall asleep or be able to like just kind of I need that background noise. Yeah. And even like when I'm like studying, like when I was taking harder classes, like when I needed to study, I needed like something in the back, like just like whether that was like white noise or like something just to like stimulate like that part of like the brain to like focus, like be like don't go over there, but like you got to stay here, but you need that sort of thing.
Instrumental music. And especially in college, I had a whole bunch of instrumental music, whether it was the classical or like I listened to a guy called Rat-a-tat, and he made these kind of cool beats. And I remember being in the library and doing that same thing. It can help you focus. What I find is some students are like, oh, I need music. I was like, well, if it's lyrics, probably not, because the lyrics are going to distract you. I think there is a crossover though when it is so familiar though. Right, so you said that you fall asleep with the TV on. Like I fall asleep with The Office on. I've listened to, because I'm not watching them anymore. Right, I've listened to every episode of The Office at least a dozen times. Right, because I'll just turn it on. It's over there. I have the timer. It's going to shut off in a half an hour, and I'm usually out. Oftentimes before that intro song is done playing, right, or the cold open.
Yeah.
But when we're focused. You talk about when you're doing that work. I think it's the words that can distract us.
Yeah, or like if it's like music that I have a playlist. It's called my chill playlist, and it's like all my like outdoor like feel good like songs. But like I know all of them. So like the lyrics, like when they play, like it's like lower volume, but I'm still able to like just say them like just subconsciously. Like I'm like still like focused on my work, but I'll just be like. Saying the lyrics or like I'll be doing something, but I don't even think that I'm doing it. I'm just doing it.
Yeah, you find that flow state.
Yeah. That's a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
Well, it has been an absolute blast having you on here. We do, for the sake of time, kind of have to wrap it up. I know you got to have at least one question that you're just dying to ask Mr. Rozborski. Is there one that we've missed that you want to ask him?
One that we missed. Let me.
Well, while he's thinking about,
I'm looking at my list too. I don't know if there was anything that I felt like I needed to say.
Sometimes I just like to ask whoever's sitting across from us, like, is there something that you wish we would have asked you?
So I really liked this question. The most memorable moment. What's been your most memorable moment? And For the educator one, it's tough to pick out those moments. I think the most memorable moments are usually the graduations, because that's that culmination, right? Where you hug that student and you take that picture with them, and all of those memories come back, right? All of the little jokes, the struggles even, right? The times where you had that disagreement and you worked through it. And then even memorable moments as a person. I think you talk about getting outdoors, and I think that's something that more people need to do. We are constantly kind of directed indoors or directed to technology, but for my mom's birthday, it was her big number birthday. I won't say which one, because she's still not a day over 30. It's our running joke. You don't look a day over 30.
Learn from him.
Yeah.
Remember that.
But we went out and we went to Delicate Arch, and that hike, right? It's still imprinted on me, and it's been a couple years now. The hike, the early morning hike, and getting to that top ridge and waiting in line, and just the view, right? Those views that are almost beyond description, right? You can show them, you can take the pictures, but it's not the same as being there and seeing the sun and feeling the wind and the dust and just being in awe, right? I think we need more awe moments.
I agree with you. They agree with you too.
Yeah, they're out there hollering.
Excited
They're hollering
about
being awestruck.
There's just something. I've always been an outdoorsy type of a person, but I love to get outside as well. And then it's so refreshing. That's what recharges me. I'm pretty envious of all these hikes that you want to go on, because when you get out there, you just realize that you're real small.
Yeah.
That there's so much more out there, and that this world, this earth is just beautiful. And it helps you recenter and to focus. And I love the fact that you're bookmarking a wonderful experience outside. Right? You're out there. So anytime you visit there, you're going to always be reminded of that.
Yeah. And that time with those people, right? Not just the incredible experience, but remembering that incredible experience with people that I love. Right.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And it'll always smell and feel the same.
Yeah, we were pretty smelly that day too.
Well, I
feel that.
But it's just interesting when you get out into the woods and you close your eyes, and there's that familiar scent of of the leaves falling, and the kind of the slow decay at the end of a wonderful spring and summer. It takes you to different spots.
Yeah,
and it just makes you appreciate things on a much deeper level.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have a question?
I have the question now.
All right, the final question.
The final question.
Yeah.
Life quote. What do you got?
See, that was one of the ones that I hoped that you wouldn't ask. I don't have some big mantra, right? Some big life quote that I write down. I probably should, but there's never been one of those quotes that I'm like, oh, I have to live by this. So maybe it goes back to Aristotle and his means, right? Just never going too far one way. Never, overindulging in one thing and staying open to all of it. Not that we want to be a jack of all trades, but I think there's a lot to be said about having experience in so many different avenues and so many different elements of life. Because then you can truly experience and appreciate, right? You can appreciate what someone else has done, the accomplishments that they've had.
For sure.
I think that point right there is such a great stopping point for us, because when you look at the world in which we live in right now, and you kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, we oftentimes lose sight of valuing the person across from us and where they're at. Irregardless of what their opinion or belief might be, as different as it may be than ours, there's much to be gained from their perspective and from their story and from their life experiences. So I know I, for one, am incredibly grateful that you shared your story with us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was nice talking to you for really the first time.
Yeah. I mean, this was a deep podcast.
Yeah.
This was not surface level. We were, 20,000 leagues under the sea here.
I mean, I would expect nothing less from the Wizard of Roz.
Oh, yeah.
So, hey, thank you for joining us on this episode of Between Two Blue Devils Revamped.
Yup. When we will see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.